Hello there, survivors. Welcome back to another build tutorial on my channel. Today I'm building the Owlery from Hogwarts Legacy in ARK Survival Ascended. Now note, for this build you'll need a couple of things. First off, being a custom cosmetic, which everyone of course has access to. Then you need to be able to overlap some pieces, because some of these will actually overlap into other pieces. So this build won't be possible unofficial at all. And then third, and quite importantly, for the top part of this build, where the steeper slopes come into play, you will need a mod called Architect Structures Remastered, because those pieces haven't made it to the normal game yet, unfortunately. So you can't build this without that mod. The bottom part up to the top layer where you can walk off the tower, you can totally build without the mod. The actual cool part, the steep part up to the roof, that's all built with those modded pieces, and unfortunately we do not have any variants of that in the normal game quite yet. As always, if you enjoyed these build tutorials and you want to see more, feel free to leave your suggestions down below in the comments, and of course make sure you subscribe and like the video so I know you like these builds. And with that being said, let's get into it. Okay, and as always, we kind of want to start with the foundation. You want to start with a simple circle of your stone foundation, triangle foundations, and then add a layer of normal foundations to those, filling in the gaps between them with triangles again, and adding 3 of those triangles to the end of the normal foundations to extend or circle a little bit more to get the base shape in place like this, and then once more filling in the gaps with the normal foundations. And this is the size that we need. Then here at the bottom we want to decide where our door is going to be. I want to do that on one of those full foundations preferably, and then we'll just take our normal walls and start filling in the wall all the way around. We will be adding windows, but we're adding custom cosmetic windows to this build of the Manor mod, because they look very good for towers and castle builds. And then in total we want to raise these walls by 2 more, so 3 high in total for the first layer of the tower. And we just want to do the same everywhere, so going around once more, raising it all up by 2 walls more, so it's 3 high in total all the way around like this. There we go. We also of course want to add in a little staircase here in front, so that we have an easy way to access our tower, and then of course have those sloped walls next to it, and also some railings on top of there, so that you have a proper little entrance. And of course we can't forget about the door. Now the windows will be one of the last steps we do, so that we don't have to change the custom cosmetic every time. For now we'll take out the pillars and we'll snap them to the sides of the walls where they are too wide. Make them go all the way up like so, and we'll do that for all the way around. Also make sure they go all the way down to the ground, so that you have some proper supporting pillars. And then basically we just want to go all the way around to do this, just to add a little bit more shape to this first section of the tower, and also to add some differences between the sections, because we're not going to do this everywhere. There we go, so it should look like this. Then we can take out our stone beam and we'll go around all the way like this, basically signaling that this is the end of the first layer of the tower. And then if you wish, you can also actually do that down here to add in a little bit more detail for the ground floor as well. And just go all the way around, except for where the door is, of course. I never like to have those beams through doors for sure. And then we actually want to place a stone railing on top of all the walls that we've just placed, like so. And then we're going to turn them into a custom cosmetic to make this look all a little bit nicer. So from the Manor mod custom cosmetics, you want this Battlements V2 skin. It's the one that looks like this with the curves below. And we want to change all those railings that we've just placed into this because that looks a whole lot nicer. I can definitely recommend the Manor Mod custom cosmetic to anyone that wants to build like a castle or tower or whatever, even in normal ARK, because it's just such a good look. Now this is definitely where we're going to need to be able to overlap these structures, because we're going to have a wall right into that we just placed down. And we're going to make this 4 high in total. So just for everywhere all the way around, we're going to raise all of these up. And that's basically going to be the second layer of our tower. So far so good. It's not too difficult just yet. Like the detail and the cool design look of this tower definitely comes from the top part. And of course, once you start adding in all the different windows that we're gonna have. But yeah, definitely the tower looks the best because of this top part. Of course, that has the unique design and look for this place. Okay, then here on the wall that are too wide, we want to start with our roof upside down like this to start preparing for the next layer that we're going to add to the tower. There we go. So basically we'll leave those gaps of 1 in between open, going all the way around. Then we want to take out our triangle roofs and fill in those shapes as well to connect the two up to each other and to go all the way around to connect all these different pieces together. So there we go. Do the same right here. Another one right there. And there we go. All the way around. Then it's time to add in some floors. Now you could add in a floor right here if you want to. But if you just want like a roomier tower on the inside, you could also leave that open. Here, however, we definitely want to add one. So we want to add in our wood ceilings against the normal roof pieces like this, going all the way around like that. And then the other piece we want to place right there, just one of them. Then it's time to fill in the bits between like so. And of course also right here, just going all the way around to slowly but surely fill in our ceiling pattern. There we go. We should end up with this. And then on the normal ceilings again, that's where we want to add our triangles to the inside. Then going back to the full ceiling, which we want to add in between. And then the middle circle, we're actually going to leave open for just now, so that we can integrate that with the staircase going all the way down. We take out our stone railings and we start adding them all the way around this layer, because we're going to have another round of battlements. So there we go, just going slowly but surely all the way around, adding in these railings. Take out our custom cosmetic again and placing these battlements. Now they will hang over the edge a little bit, but I kind of like that little detail. And I really like these arches in this texture, which just really adds a nice shape to your build that you can't really do with normal ARK pieces. So yeah, this is definitely really fun to build castles with. There we go. So that's the next layer of our tower. Then we want to take out our walls again. Again, overlap them into the battlements and raise them up by 2 more. So we're going to go all the way around again, raising all these walls up by 2 until the final layer of the tower, where things are about to get very, very interesting indeed. All right, and then what you want to do is have another layer of these railings on top of these walls, just going around like this, so that we can again change them to battlements in a little bit. So we take out the same custom cosmetic and we go around once more, changing these all into battlements. Then it's time to add in some windows. So right now we want to take this one, the second one, the double window. We should be able to add those onto these walls and they should look like this. So adding, again, as the name suggests, double windows all the way around to bring in a lot of light to this layer of the build. And for now, we're just going to add them all the way around. Some of these will change back to normal walls in a little bit, but it's for now easier just to go all the way around. It's quite easy to remove skins anyway. Then we'll look for another window skin. It's going to be this one, the first one, the stone window. And that's going to give us all the other windows. So here on the first layer, we also want to add in plenty of windows just to add in a lot of light and just be able to look around all of the place. Then on the next layer, we want to add in these windows here on the small bit of the tower. So the one ball, and those we want to have windows in the middle all the way around like this. Then, however, we're going to create a shape. So here, we're going to have a window down there. And then we're going to have a window all the way up. And then this is where we flip that around. So we start with the high window. We go down to the low window. Go down to the low one. Go up to the high one. High, low, low, high, high, low. And that should line up again with the other tower. This is just to randomize them a little bit, the windows. And especially from the inside, that looks quite cool. You get this randomized effect of your windows. Feels very much like the Owlery of Hogwarts Legacy, where owls would be flying in from all the different windows. Okay, then we have to basically make a cross of this build. So what you want to do is you want to pick one side. In my case, that's going to be up above the door. Doesn't really matter too much. You just need to make a cross shape of the walls here. So then go right away to the other side for the one side of the cross. This is going to be the second side. And then, of course, now we know that this one, 90 angles degree, needs to be normal walls as well. And then this one right here needs to be that as well. So we remove the skins there. We need the normal walls. And now you can see it's like a cross shape of our build. That is where we're going to build those 4 support parts for the roof. But first, of course, we want to fill in the floor for this layer. So we take out our normal ceilings above the normal ceilings that we did below. And we go all the way around like so to fill in the floor for this layer. Take out our triangles, fill them out in between. And of course, we can also attach them to these singles right there. So that we can just start filling in the ceiling all the way around like so. Just saves yourself a little bit of trouble instead of having to change back and forth. We'll fill in the ceilings in between, and then of course also attach them here to the triangle piece all the way around until we meet up again, filling in these quarter pieces here as well. And then you want to fill in half of this so that we have an entrance for our stairway all the way down. So yeah, we want to fill in one more right here. So we have 2 triangles open. Then we'll take out our stone staircase. Make sure it flips down the right way. And this is how we can start the whole staircase down all the way until we reach the bottom again. And there we go. We reached it all the way down to the floor. Now, probably you also want to have like a beam or pillar. Right here in the middle to look like a little bit of a support for this whole staircase that is going all the way up to the top. And now that we do know where the staircase is going to be, we can take out our triangles and fill in the other half so that we have a little bit more space here and don't just have a gaping hole in the floor. And then you might also want to add some of these railings around just to keep you safe and prevent you just falling randomly down the hole. And then I also really like to have some of these pillars on the end of our railings, because we can change those to better textures as well with the custom cosmetic pack that we've been using so far. If you search for railing, you'll find a couple of them. You have the normal railing. This is the one that you can use on all of these railings to turn them into a nice custom stone look that fits a castle very, very well. Then you also have this one, the cap railing off. That is the one that we want for our pillar. because that adds a little nice end to your railings. I really like the look of those. So yeah, while we're at it, we might as well add these pillars here to the end as well. Depending on your landscape, they might not stick out of the ground that much. Now for the other railings, you have actually a left one and a right one for the slopes. I don't know why, but just keep that in mind that if you want to place them on slopes, you have to do it side by side. And there we go. But they do look really nice and they just fit in very, very well. Then we want to also take out our single short stone door skin, because then we can get a nice little custom door here as well. Okay, and then we get to the slightly more tricky part of the build. So we have the whole tower, and up to this point, I guess you would still be able to build it in normal ARK as well, as long as you have the custom cosmetic and you're able to overlap for those extra detail pieces. But even without the detail pieces, you could still make this tower a little bit. But now we're gonna need ASR for the next part. Okay, so we want to go to all those places where we've decided that will be our cross shape, so where we do not have the windows anymore, as you can see right there. This is where we want to add in 4 quarter walls like this. Do the same on the other side and on the other 2 that are all going to be part of this cross. There we go. Make sure that you flip the textures of the stone to the inside so that we do not see any of the wooden support bits. Then we want to take out our ASR pillars. I like to go for the medium variant. It's slightly smaller. I just like the look of that a little bit more. Want to add them on the corners of all of these walls, just so that we get ourselves some extra snap points here. Then the next part is very important. You need to use the normal wall here and make a door frame, because then you can still apply custom cosmetics to it. And we want to have a door right there and one right there as well. And we do that, of course, for all of these sides that we're now building. Just going around like that. And then we want to add in 2 quarter walls to the end of this as well. So just like that, extending them a little bit further. And of course, we do that for all the 4 sides that we're working on. And then at the end, we can add in our pillars again, just to create more snap points for us that we need to work with. There we go. Then we can snap a normal wall between the pillars to close off this shape a little bit, like so. And now to make it look a little bit nicer on the inside, you actually also want to snap some pillars here to the edge of the walls, or the edge of the doors, just because we're going to need to be able to have a wall between those. So again, we want to take out the walls and want to have a normal wall so you don't see any of those wooden inside bits, except on the door themselves, of course. And of course, we do that all the way around. We take out that door cosmetic again, and we want to place them on all these doors that we've just placed down to create these nice, beautiful arches, the walkways basically that we can use to walk all the way around the tower through those structures that we will be creating in a little bit. And then we also want to extend this on the outside by normal walls like this, snapping to those pillars that we've placed down. And again, of course, we want to do this all the way around the build on all of these 4 sides that we've created. Taking out our pillars as well and just adding some pillars here on the end, because again, we're going to need those snap points, and this is just the easiest way to get all of those. Then we want to add in a wall on the end of this shape too. Then we want to take out our steep roofs, and we want to snap them here to the bottom of those walls that we've just created, like so. They should connect back up to the main tower structure, and these are going to be our supports. And we also want to have these stone gables, they're called. I call them sloped walls, but they're called gables in the mod. And you want to add them to these so that we close those sides off all the way around, of course. So go around, do this everywhere. Then we want to pick the shallow version of this as well. Add them here to the end to kind of create the shape going back into the build again. And these are pieces that I really wish, and I think we should just have them in normal ARK as well. We want to take out our shallow roof, place them on top of this bit. There we go. And of course, all the way around on all 4 of these sides so that we have the shapes filled in so far. And then we can take out our steep roof again and place 2 of them here on the ends that we've just created. So this is really the part where it's going up to the top where we're going to make the roof of the tower. So there we go. And of course on the sides we want to already start filling them in with these stone gables, steep versions, so that we kind of start creating the shape of this whole structure. And of course going around until we've done this everywhere. Okay, then we want to take out our quarter walls. We actually want to fill in a little bit more of this structure. So we want to fill in this part right there, and then making this all the way connect up to the next part over there as well. And of course we're gonna do this all the way around, filling these in like so. Okay, and this is where things get a little bit interesting. So what we want to do right here is flip this normal stone gable or sloped wall right down there. So it's going to overlap into the existing structure we already have. Just because we need to get the shape in somehow. And of course, we're going to place these all the way around. So I'm just going to do this for every one of these 4 sides. And then of course that means that we need to add the normal roof piece to this part. So we want to snap that right in there to kind of start filling in this shape a little bit. There we go. And then we should be able to take our normal walls, fill them up like so. So 2 more until we reach that sloped roof. Or the roof, just normal roof. There we go. So that's already starting to fill in a lot of this structure. And then we want to take out these steep ones again and have them go up and almost meet in the middle. Unfortunately, with the way ARK works and the way that the triangles exactly work in ARK, they make it so that our shape somehow doesn't quite line up. But we'll fix that. We will have to use a little bit of overlapping. It's not the prettiest, but you guys really wanted to see this design, so here you go. Make sure to keep paying good attention to this. So right now we should have the 4 supports like this. And before we continue up with the top part, we're actually going to make sure that these are all nicely detailed. So we want to raise our pillars until that diagonal bit. And we want to do that for all of these, of course. Just adding in this small extra little bit of detail to these walls. I really always like that, you know, adding those little layers of depth. Then we're going to go to our shallow beam, and of course we're going to add the medium variant to the shallow part here as well, which basically will continue the beams or the pillar that we already have in place. And it's just a nice little detail. Then we'll take the steep variant, also change it to medium, and have this go all the way up, and also here on the inside, as well as here on the bottom, of course, linking back up to the tower, just completing the whole shape. And again, as with pretty much all of these designs, we're gonna have to do those on all 4 of these towers. Then we actually want to take out our stone half pillar, go to the sloped half beam, go to the medium variant, and then we actually can also fit it in right between there, so that we've got the whole build outlined with these medium beams. And it just adds a nice little edge around the whole build, which is just a little layer of extra details. Okay, then for the next part, you want to pay close attention, because this is where things get a little bit tricky because of the way this has all lined up so far. So first off, it starts quite easy, just with a ceiling on top of all of these. So just like that. And then we take out our quarter ceilings, add the triangles right on all of these corners. And those will overlap slightly, as you can see, but that's really the best that we can do. And then here in the middle, yeah, we kind of also just want to place down our triangles attached to those ceilings. You will see some gaps that have formed, so we will have to choose some sides. I like to go to the front of the build and then snap 2 more triangles in there like this, and do the same from the other side so that we have those gaps filled in already. And then for the remaining gap, you want to place a quarter ceiling basically in those corners, because that will fill in most of it. You could also fill it in with another a quarter ceiling, but that will just give you a little bit of problems on the outside. So those little gaps we're gonna have to live with. Then we want to take out our quarter wall and basically make a little edge around this. So we're just going to snap to those ceilings that we have sticking out here on the side. They should still create these walls that slightly overlap in the corner, but that's totally fine. We're just going to follow this shape all the way around like so. Then we're going to take out our stone beams, make sure that it is the medium variant, of course. And we want to basically just go all the way around this newly created ceiling that we've made, just to create a little bit of that extra detail. And then what you want to do is we want to take out our triangle ceilings again, and also make sure that we follow kind of the same snap points right there in the corners, attached to those walls that we've placed, so that we can basically start filling in the shape that we've made as well. Should be able to place the ceiling in the same spot as we have above. It will again overlap with the main structure, but that's already happening a lot, so there's no reason to give up now. We just start doing the same, so we'll create the same shape like this. Then of course we start filling in those pieces with those triangles, and then for the last gaps, of course, adding in those quarter ceilings like so. Again, there will be a tiny gap left, but not too much. And then here we can also snap in our beams to create this double layer, which adds a really nice detail, in my opinion, to the top of this tower. And this basically creates another layer where you could park some flyers. The only downside of this place is you can't really get to or from here within the tower itself. I personally would just put like some kind of form of light up here, so you have like a beacon to call you home at night. Okay, then here on the ends, we basically want to raise walls 3 high. So on all of these 4 sides, we just want to make sure that 4 high in total. This is also where we could take out more of our medium pillars and just add them to the sides of the wall, just to kind of continue that whole shape that we've had going on so far. Now for the next part, we basically need to be able to provide our snapping point. Now we want to go up 4 high with these walls, all the way up like so. Take out these middle ones all the way down to the bottom, just keeping in the top ones. Then we want to take our slope walls and fill them in like this. If you have other mods that may have more of the rounded shape for this, then those are a good pick as well. I used Amisa walls for the other ones, but just these will also do perfectly well. And then we want to basically do this all the way around. So every time we need to raise up these walls just to give us the right snap points. Luckily, the floating bits should just easily stay up like this, and then you can fill in these other parts. And there we go. Then we have a tower that is round like so. And that's where, of course, we'll start working on the roof. Okay, then we want to take out our steep roof. I like to change it to the shingles style. Those fit very well for these types of towers. And then we want to fit in the normal roofs against those 3 high walls that we have already had in place. Then we'll take our triangle variants as well. Make sure you use the same style. And we snap them to the sides of those pieces that we've just placed down. So there will still be a little gap forming, but that's quite all right. It's really not much we can do about that. And then here on the top, of course, we want to add in another triangle variant. Make sure you add them on the ends of all the normal roof pieces that we have. So going up like this and then all the way around. So we will have these gaps in the roof, but we're choosing to see those as a design choice. Then we want to take out our shallow roof and then add them to the end like this. 3 triangles to the normal roof. And we're gonna, of course, do that on all of these sides right here. Basically to round off the shape a little bit more. And then we can fill in these pieces by snapping in the normal roof, shallow roofs against them. There will be a little gap in the corner, but again, we're going to see those as design choices for adding in a little bit more shape to the roof. And there we go. Once we've gone all the way around, that is pretty much the shape that we want to have. Yeah, and that is pretty much it. That is the Owlery from Hogwarts Legacy or Hogwarts themselves, but specifically the version seen in Hogwarts Legacy. And it is just a really cool tower design, in my opinion. Of course, you can actually park some flyers up here. There should be room for at least 4 griffins. So I designed this for Owl Griffins. But of course, RGs, Pterodons, you can all fit them in. And then probably some kind of light source up there. And then you can even have a little bit of a base going on in the rest of the tower as well. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.